And here we are again, superheroes, one more time. Another video, a little bit more inspirational words, I hope. And again, I like to talk about kind of what's perhaps been expressed or experienced globally, and then to put it into perspective of how I'm viewing it and how perhaps we could make it more our own experience and to make things more livable in our daily life. And a word that's come up for me is the word transparency. And I think that's happening globally too, that there's a calling or a desire for more transparency everywhere of what perhaps has felt like authority or governments even, or just organizations having this authority or this uh, just telling people how things need to be or are when it isn't necessarily true or isn't actually serving everybody in the greatest way. And I've heard for years that, there's the top 1% of who make millions, and then the rest of people kind of, don't or don't have those same opportunities or abilities. So, I mean, you hear about this, and then the other word that comes up a lot is equality. So how does a world become more equal and more loving towards each other and more the same when and then the transparency of that, like what has been hidden from us and what is coming up now to be reviewed and looked at, and in the sense of inviting us to be greater versions of ourselves. So the way I kind of see it is there's like two ways here, two ways of looking at it, that we do have our roles that we play. There is a head of an organization, and then there is people who are under that. That's the roles that are always being played out, or often being played out. There needs to be a head of a driver of a car. Not everybody can drive the same car, right? Or else it'll just be chaos. There needs to be one person steering the ship, or else there would be chaos. But there's a team that works around the skipper of a big ship. And there probably is a team that works in most organizations. So there's different role playing. And so the transparency, I think, is when everybody knows what's going down the channels and also what's coming up, like being open for feedback. So then how do we bring that into our daily lives? The transparency, the equality, the unity of everybody, and to lose or dissolve this feeling of separation, or this feeling of being walked on, or this feeling of being blindly led somewhere without any room for growth. And I think we have to bring it back to ourselves. Who am I in every action that I'm taking today? Who am I with what I'm doing and giving and learning and sharing with people? And am I doing that? Am I taking these actions to share honestly? Or am I taking these actions for a hidden agenda that's going to give me something personally? And so it comes back to this like manipulation. Like, do we live in a little bit of manipulation, or are we living in a big bit of manipulation? Or are we telling our truth? Are we being honest? Are we looking for ways to be more honest and telling of the truth? And what I mean by that is sometimes we just assume that other people don't need to know some things. Like, this is personally my deal, or personally their deal, and I have no right to share that, or no one else needs to know. And there's a danger there of that pedestal being held up, or of even creating an inner circle and an outer circle. And yet sometimes maybe that's necessary. Like, there's a group that agrees before they share something with everybody. Who knows? I mean, I'm trying to make up ideas to see how it works against how you feel and how you see things. And so how do we make it more equal, more open? And I think for me, there's always a willingness to grow. I can see where I make mistakes. I can see where I can do something better. I can see where I can listen to feedback or to people's concerns, and wonder if there's a role I'm supposed to play in that which actually serves people better and gentler, or even just more open. I can see if there's times when I'm just automatically shutting down because I don't feel like I have the right to speak up. Or I feel like I'm out of my league, like I don't have the skills, so I might as well not participate. Whereas sometimes the unskilled can see outside of the box, and the people more skilled only operate within a box. So there's all these ways that we can learn and see things differently and grow from. But ultimately, once again, it's not to point the finger at other people or other ways that they're doing things to so passionately say that they're wrong. The conscious way to rise beyond all this is to actually bring the attention back to yourself and wonder where you can play your part better, where you can play your part different, where you can be more open and receptive, more inviting, more listening. Where can you be a greater version of yourself and the role that the universe is giving you to play with, right? So it's not like, oh, I've got to do all these things and I've now got to be the boss or anything like that. It's not about that. But we all know in ourselves where we don't take action and expect someone else to take over. And it's a comfort zone for us. We're comfortable by doing that, but then we might judge them or grumble about them. And yet we have something to contribute and we have a different view, or we can see where there's more communication needed or more love to offer, you know? So again, it's like taking responsibility for who we are and how we're individually seeing circumstances right now or ourselves, and realizing where we can be greater, different, better, more. There's always more, everybody. So your little short video is going to end with exercise, and the exercise for today is to see where you can play bigger, see where you can be a bit more bold, see where you can show up for life and play a different role or play more of the role that you should be playing. See in yourself where you shut down and feel withdrawn or small because there's this idea that you can't or shouldn't. And it's not like now you instantly should and can, but it's like to see it, see the patterning, and realize that perhaps the contentment isn't actually to suddenly start saying everything, but to let go of the idea that you can't and just be okay still in this moment with who you are and how life is moving through you. The dawning of a new age and the awakening of humanity, it starts with you, the choices you make, and who are you? How are you experiencing life right now? And that's how important you are, my dear superhero. So play today with just seeing yourself and seeing where you can play a bigger role, or to just let go into the contentment of yourself now. I love you, and I love the part that you're playing to help all of humanity.